Here are the pros and cons to living in Reno, Nevada. Hey everyone, this is David Tully, and in this video, we're going to be going over the pros and cons to living in Reno, Nevada. Well, although I do feel that the pros far outweigh the cons, there are some downsides. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you're thinking about moving or relocating to the Reno, Nevada area or surrounding areas and you need help buying a home, just reach out. The first pro I want to talk about is the weather. And the Reno weather is absolutely awesome. And this is coming from somebody who's originally from Hawaii and from Kona on the Big Island, where you typically only have one season, hot and humid, although we do have some amazing beaches and food to make up for it. The spring in Reno is absolutely awesome and one of my favorite seasons, where you're typically in the 50s to 60s during the day, and of course significantly cooler at night, where we drop anywhere from 20 to 30 degrees at night. So make sure your sprinklers are still winterized in the springtime, in the early parts of spring. The fall is one of my next favorite seasons, and this is because we also have some very comfortable temperatures in the 50 to 70 range. And as we get closer to winter, of course, it gets a little bit colder. But being from Hawaii and seeing the beautiful fall colors and the leaves changing is absolutely beautiful. Summer is also a really awesome time in the Reno area. And sure, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We can get hot in the summer, although we are certainly better than Las Vegas because we don't get to about 115, 118. The highest we typically get is about 104 to 107. But one of the best parts about summer in the Reno area is that we cool off at night. And even if we reach 105 or 107 degrees, which is still pretty rare, I would say most summer days are typically in the high 80s to about mid 90s. So like I said, even if we get up to about 105 or 107 degrees, we still cool down to about 65 or 70 degrees at night, which is very, very comfortable. So once you start hitting about 7 or 8 p.m., the temperature starts dropping very, very rapidly, which is really nice. Last but not least is the winter in Reno is absolutely amazing, especially if you like winter sports or ski resorts. Winter temperatures are typically going to be in the 30 to 50 range and can get significantly colder, if a blizzard or a cold front is coming in. And you're probably wondering, how is the snow or blizzards? Truthfully, it's not that bad. And most of the time, if we get a snowstorm, it might snow from 4 to 9 p.m. the previous day. And on the following day by 10 to 12 a.m. or noon, the snow is going to be gone and melted and the roads are going to be clear. Typically, the only time you're going to have a significant issue driving in the snow is going to be later at night or in the very early parts of morning. So if you're heading to work very early or to school, please keep that in mind. And that is why we have school delays, because of the early morning temperatures in the winter, which can cause issues with ice and snow. But overall, I would say the weather in Reno is absolutely awesome. And like they say about Reno, if you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes. It can change at times. So the first con I want to talk about is the rental prices in Reno. Overall, the rental market in Reno or Sparks is fairly strong, which is unfortunate for a renter. If you're looking for a one-bedroom apartment, you're typically going to be in the 1,100 to about 1,400 range. And if you're looking for something a little bit nicer, you can easily find a one-bedroom to two-bedroom apartment in the $1,400 to $2,000 range in many parts of Reno or Sparks. They are popping up left and right at every corner throughout the area. It is absolutely insane the amount of growth that we are receiving. If you want to find a single family home in the Reno or Sparks area, you're typically going to have to spend anywhere from about $2,000 all the way up to $3,000 depending on the size of the home. And if you want to save a significant amount of money on rent, I highly recommend getting together with 3 to 5 friends or finding 3 to 5 roommates, finding a 3 to 5 bedroom single family home and splitting the cost. This is a way you can save a ton of money on rent prices and utilities. The second pro I want to talk about to living in the Reno area is actually Lake Tahoe. And I'm sure some of you are going to say Lake Tahoe is not located in Reno. And you know what? You're absolutely right. But I can almost guarantee you any Reno, Sparks local, or anyone living in Northern Nevada will absolutely say that Lake Tahoe is one of the biggest pros to living in Reno. It's absolutely gorgeous. You definitely want to check out some of my favorite beaches such as Sand Harbor, Zephyr, and Round Hill Pines. These are some absolutely awesome beaches, but what I will tell you is if you're gonna go to one of these beaches in the summer, make sure you show up about 30 minutes before they open or exactly when they open, or you might not get a parking stall. It gets very, very busy in the summer. But not only is Lake Tahoe awesome in the spring, summer, and fall months, it's absolutely gorgeous in the winter, and they have some really amazing ski resorts that are fairly close. Some of my favorites in the Lake Tahoe area are going to be Heavenly and North Star. But like I said, Lake Tahoe is easily one of the best pros to living in the Reno area, and I highly recommend that you check it out. The second con in the Reno area, unfortunately, is the higher home prices and very limited inventory. The current median home value in the Reno and Sparks area is between about $550,000 and $560,000. The median home value across the US is at about $416,000, which, as you can see, we are over 30% higher than the median home value across the US, which is very unfortunate. If you're looking for a single family home in Reno or Sparks between $300,000 and $400,000, we have very limited inventory because most homes or most single family homes are not going to be at that price point. If you're looking between $400,000 and $500,000, you're going to have significantly more options. But like I said, we have very limited inventory overall. We currently have about 2 months of inventory of homes in the Reno and Sparks area. They say that a normal healthy market has about 6 months of inventory. So even with higher interest rates, we are still in a seller's market. Although even being in a seller's market, you can still get some pretty good deals in this market if the home has been sitting anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. And if you're looking for a brand new home in the Reno area, I highly recommend looking in the North Valleys areas such as Stead, Lemon Valley, or Cold Springs, where you can find a good amount of options between a $400,000 and $500,000 price point. And if you want to find a nice single family home under $500,000 in this Sparks area, I highly recommend checking out the Links and the Willows by D.R. Horton, where you can find townhouses and single family homes in about the $420,000 to $495,000 range. And if you're looking for even better value, I highly recommend looking at the outskirts such as Fernley or Fallon if you're trying to find better value for a home. One of the biggest benefits to living in Reno, Nevada, or Nevada in general, is that we have no state income tax. That is why a ton of people are moving to the area. We're actually only one of 8 states that does not have state income tax. This is why I'm helping a bunch of people from California, Hawaii, and other states that have state income tax. So the next item I want to talk about is traffic and construction. And this can kind of be seen as a pro or a con. One of the biggest downsides is that we're having a lot of construction on the freeways and highways such as Pyramid Highway. We are seeing such massive growth throughout the area over the last 10 years that we're having to expand our roadways and freeways. Not to mention, apartments are popping up left and right in Reno and Sparks. And although I'm not a huge fan, they know more than we do because we have a ton of people moving to the area and a lack of housing. And as you can imagine, we have low inventory in the housing market. This is why we need more apartment buildings to house these people. So like I said, this can be seen as a pro and a con to the growing Reno area. One of the biggest pros to living in the Reno area is that we have a lot of fun events throughout the year. And being from Hawaii, where there's not a lot of things to do other than going fishing or going to the beach, this is a huge pro for me. One of my favorite events just passed, and that was Hot August Nights. This is a really cool event if you love classic cars or just cars in general. It happens for about 7 to 10 days throughout August. And one of the really cool parts about Hot August Nights is that it brings people from all over the world. You might be thinking, okay, just Reno locals and people from Vegas come for Hot August Nights, but you'd be surprised that I've seen people come from Hawaii and all other countries to come see Hot August Nights. It's an absolutely awesome event. Another really amazing event, and probably one of the most popular events in Reno, is the Reno Rodeo. It takes place in June for about 2 weeks, and I highly recommend you check it out. Another really fun one, if you like motorcycles or Harleys, is Street Vibrations. You should definitely check that event out as well. And one of my absolute favorite events, because my wife and I love to eat and love some good ribs, is the Nugget Rib Cook-Off in September. I always get a few good barbecue sauces to make sure I have some other barbecue sauces throughout the year, but this event happens in September and it's one you don't want to miss. Another really cool thing that the Reno area does is they have wine walks. If you like being in downtown, or you're a people person and like to hang out with your friends and family, have a couple glasses of wine or beer on a Saturday, it's absolutely amazing. It costs about $30 or $40 for a wine glass. You walk around for 3 to 5 hours on a Saturday and it is an absolute awesome time. Another really cool thing that they do throughout the area is zombie zombie crawls and Santa crawls. If you like to dress up for Halloween, or if you want to dress up as Santa for Christmas and you want to walk around town with your friends and family and have a few drinks, it is a great time. So like I said, this is one of the best pros to living in Reno, that we have a lot of fun events throughout the year. One of the biggest cons for me when I first moved to Reno or Nevada in general was that it was a dry climate. Originally being from Hawaii where it was very humid, I'd never really used chapstick or lotion my entire life because of the humid climate. But being in Reno, Nevada or Las Vegas, you are absolutely going to need some moisturizer, lotion, and absolutely need chapstick if you don't want your lips to crack and bleed. It's not a good time. And one of the biggest issues for me when I first moved to the Reno, Nevada area and Las Vegas is that I started having allergy issues after about a year. And I asked my allergist, why am I having issues? And he said, well, you can have a kind of a honeymoon period or a honeymoon phase for 6 to 12 months and not have any issues. And I told him, well, I didn't have any allergies while I lived in Hawaii. And he laughed and he told me, go move back to a tropical area because it's typically better for your allergies. And I laughed as well because I said, hey, I'm not gonna move back to Hawaii or San Diego or some other really expensive area in California just to be near the water. So fortunately, it's been about 13 years now living in Nevada, 11 years in Reno and 2 years in Las Vegas. And I fortunately don't have any allergy issues typically anymore, but sure, I can have a certain flare up in the spring or the summer. But overall, I would say now I've lived in Nevada for so long, I actually prefer the dry climate over the humid climate of Hawaii. Another really amazing pro for the Reno area is that we have some really amazing ski resorts. One of my absolute favorites, and I would say most locals, is the Mount Rose Ski Resort. It is so convenient, and that's why I think a lot of people love it. They also have some really great slopes. I actually live in South Reno, which is only about 20 to 25 minutes away from Mount Rose Ski Resort. You can get there by about 8 a.m., ski or snowboard for a few hours, and you can get back to work in the afternoon if you need it. It's so convenient and one of my absolute favorite resorts in the Reno area. If you want to drive a little bit further, it's not technically in Reno, but North Star is a really amazing resort, anywhere from about 40 to 55 minutes away, depending on where you live in Reno or Sparks. They have some really great slopes and a really cool lodge, shops, and dining area throughout the North Star area. Another really awesome and popular ski resort is Heavenly. They have a Nevada side and a California side, but this is a really fun resort where you can go skiing, snowboarding, you could ride the gondola, or even hang out in the Heavenly Village or the area down below in South Lake Tahoe. You can find some really great breweries and restaurants throughout the area, but this is definitely a huge pro to the Reno area because we have a ton of amazing ski resorts not far. One of the biggest pros for me is that we have all-you-can-eat sushi. And you might be thinking, what are you talking about, David? You have all-you-can-eat sushi in Reno, Nevada? You're in the high desert. How good could the sushi possibly be? But being from Hawaii, I absolutely love poke, sushi, and I grew up on eating a ton of fish. The all-you-can-eat sushi in Reno is actually very, very good. Some of my favorites are Tokyo Sushi, Sakana, and Ohana. I highly recommend you check out Tokyo Sushi, but I would probably go right when they open at 11 a.m. to get a better place in line, because if you go during peak lunch hours or peak dinner hours, you're going to be waiting anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes, which is not fun. You can expect to spend anywhere from $22 to $32, depending on if you go for lunch or dinner, with lunch being significantly cheaper. One of the biggest cons to living in the Reno, Nevada area is that we occasionally get wildfires and smoke. I will say that the 2022 season was pretty non-existent for fire and smoke, which is really, really nice to get a break for a year. I'm not going to say we had absolutely zero, but it was very limited compared to 2020 and 2021. And I will like to say that most of the wildfires and smoke that we got in 2020 and 2021 was mostly from surrounding areas in California, from the northwest and south of us, and even some in the Lake Almanor area, which is kind of northwest of Reno. And I'm not going to say that we don't get wildfires and smoke in northern Nevada or Reno. That definitely happens. It is dry out here and we are the high desert, so it definitely happens. But like I said, in 2022 it was pretty non-existent, but it certainly happens at times. Once again, typically comes from places in California just to the west, north, and south of us. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video on the pros and the cons to living in Reno, Nevada. I think the pros far outweigh the cons in the Reno area. And if you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Reno or any surrounding areas and you need need help buying a home, just reach out. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.